Hello once again, great and amazing people of YouTube land. It is again your friend, Wyld Elf26. Hey, I was just strolling around. I did a teaser a little while back. And, well, let me put this down for a minute. But, as I recall, nobody could guess what the system was, what the Super Famicom was. So, in an impromptu unboxing of sorts, I'm going to reveal that to you now. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to see with your own eyes, this is the system. Nobody could guess what it was. It's made by a company called OLD-Skool. It's called the Classiq 2 HD. That's right, friends. It's an HD SNES clone and regular NES clone with built-in controller ports for SNES as well as regular NES. Now, I've already unboxed this before to get the particulars in the proper place, but this is basically what you get when it's boxed. There's a power brick that plugs into it, and an AV cable and an HDMI cable. This is the instruction booklet for the Classiq 2. Pretty snazzy, eh? And this is the unit itself. Let me carefully pick it out. As you can see, it does have all the original inputs for SNES and regular NES, and it's even in a coloration that's very American Super NES friendly, purple and gray. Something I definitely enjoyed getting. There's a red version of this too, red and black, and it just doesn't have the same zing, you know what I mean? On the back, you do get AVI output as well as HDMI input. You also get the power brick power input and the aspect ratio button. Now, normally I would test this out with the Super Game Boy adapter, but at the moment it's in use and I don't have access to it. Later on I'll do one of those for it. Now, I'm going to hook this up. First, I'm going to hook it up to the AV. I'm going to let you see a couple NES games and Super NES games in AV. And then I'm going to put it in the HDMI. Now, if I remember correctly, the box says this is 720p. And that's pretty good if it is. But we'll see here on my Vizio TV. It's in the 45 class range. Kind of close to 46, but yeah. So let me put the Classiq 2 HD from OLD-Skool to the test for you right here, folks, in the woodland domain of Wyld26. Wyld Elf26, people. Remember the name. Sometimes I do. Alrighty. Well, anyway, here we go. What I want you to see that we get with the Classiq 2, we get an NES-style dog bone controller, which is actually pretty good, pretty ergonomic. And I don't have a problem with the buttons. The buttons are functional. They work correctly. And then we get a very good imitation SNES controller. The color is a little off. I'm sure people will nitpick about that. The buttons are convex instead of concave, which is close to our European and Japanese SNES, but in a style of coloring that's supposed to be reminiscent of the American version. This controller has worked flawlessly on the games I've used on it. So I'm going to plug these in, and then I have a smattering of game titles here that I will pick from to play. And I'm sure there's some oldies and goodies that you enjoy here in this lineup. And a couple here that I've had a very long time. And I will do that for you now. I will position the camera so everything's in frame. It may be a little far away, but that's how the camera works. Not the greatest camera, not the greatest phone. As a result, not the greatest camera. Okay, let's see here. Alrighty, that seems to line up. Okay, now you're going to see the Woodland Elf. Yep, is busiest. Yellow for video, of course. If the back of your TV doesn't have yellow, it probably has green. You plug it in there, it's the same difference. Okay. Alrighty. Now we'll start off with a NES favorite, the original pack-in title, Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. It has a decent grip on the cartridges, but not a death grip. And some people like it to have a death grip, and some people don't. Some believe if it's got a death grip, it's going to cause some kind of cartridge damage pulling it out. And in most cases, that's simply not so. Now, if you have a third-party game cartridge, or worse, an unlicensed one, it may not be too sturdy to begin with, not to the standards of Nintendo back in the time. And of course, it may get some kind of pin upheaval of some sort. Even so, I haven't experienced that yet with any of the ones I have. And I have some others besides what I showed you here. I don't go around showing all of what I got, just some of it. Like to save something nice for later on down the road. Okay. I'm using my drawer as an impromptu display, and I hope that doesn't bother anybody too much. If my head is out of frame a couple of times, I please apologize to you, please. Here we go. Alrighty. Let's see, my sword. Gotta put it somewhere. Since it's the Master Sword, I had to do some special mastering training. But I think we all know what that is. So that'll work. Okay. Now, let's make sure that the television is on the right input, which it is not. Now it is. Okay. And what's the volume? I'll bring the volume to about 8. Here we go, people. And I think I have the power supply at hand here. Most of the bricks are your basic cell phone chargers. There's only a couple systems that I know of that are clone systems or retro imitation that require anything beyond the 5-volt brick that you normally get for most phones. Power on. Ah, there we are, people. Okay, there is a word of caution, and we'll get into it mostly in the first level here of Super Mario Brothers. Pardon me if I get a little close here. Okay, press start. There we go, people. Now this is the image quality off of just regular AV on a 45-inch HD Vizio TV. Okay. Hopefully this translates somewhat. I hope there's not some glare problem or something that would make me have to reshoot this video later. Because the Elf26 is patient. The Wyld Elf26 tries to maintain some level of patience, a mellowness of sorts. And sometimes that star will not let you get it the way you think you will. So used to jumping over those things. I kind of squandered my invincibility. But this was just for demo purposes anyway. Now what I've noticed when I play it on AV mode is I'm getting a lot of the sound effects before I actually touch the item. And in a couple instances, I've actually touched a bad guy before it registered on screen. Sign of some kind of video latency, but only in AV mode. And the actual hardware hooked up to one of these TVs will actually give you the same latency problem because of the way they interpret the image, which is solved in the HD mode with HDMI. But right now we're currently on AV, so things look a little threaded, a little bunched as it were there. Oh, that's a me, that's a Mario. Alrighty, now I'm going to pause that for a moment. I'm going to turn off Mario. No, don't turn me off. I'm going to put a game in there we all pretty much know is Super NES. And that's Street Fighter II Turbo Edition. Alrighty, I hope you can hear me correctly. I'm pretty close to the device. Here we go, folks. Oh, I hit the wrong way again. Okay. I have to hit the switch in the opposite direction for SNES. I must have this thing on PAL mode. Let me check underneath. Yeah. Okay. Turn it back on. There we go. It's back on NTSC. It's nice that these televisions interpret PAL as easily as they do anything else. I do have the volume turned down quite a bit on the game. Sorry about that. This is mainly to see what type of happenings are in effect with the actual game in question. Hopefully you can see the artwork pretty well here. This is on AV mode. Okay, it's actually not so bad. It's a little edgy. That's not too bad. All right. Let me switch over to the appropriate controller. I don't need all the turbo right here, not for the demonstration. Okay. And Ryu, an alternate color, or Ryu, depending on which side of the bread your bread is buttered. You say tomato, I say tomato. You say Ryu, I say Ryu. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good at countering, even before even getting to the hitbox range, apparently. Just a little cheesy on the computer's part. Okay. Let him finish me that first round. Yeah, okay. Okay. Proper hurricane kick. Now I'm going to be cheesy and get him back for what he did. Okay. Oh, good. His dragon punch. There. He didn't stand a chance. Okay. And there's no turbo fire on this controller, by the way. So I'm not like hitting the buttons a billion times in a row to get the kicks to dominate. Ah. Oh, he found a cheap way to get. Okay. Ah, he cheaped me out. Okay. Enough of that hunky-dory stuff. Now, we're going to see it in HDMI mode, folks. Sorry if I'm taking too long with this for you. Okay. Yeah, we're going to let him croak. All right. Down he goes. Okay. Now. Oh, my poor cerulean back. Ouch. Oh. That shield and sword are heavy after a long day's journey. Okay, right now I'm going to put the television mode on HDMI, or specifically the side. I find it's often better to use it through the side instead of the other 3 HDMI inputs, just so I can more easily figure out what's hooked up to what. Okay, now I'm going to remove the AV and install the HDMI. Dun, 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 dun. Do, do, do. Okay, here we go. Street Fighter 2 in beautiful HDMI mode, or such. There it goes. There's a little delay when you use HDMI for some reason. Virtually no delay whatsoever in AV mode. My guess is that the buffers inside have to process the image to upscale, and it takes a few seconds. Okay. Now I have used a Super Game Boy adapter on this thing in previous tries, and it plays my Game Boy games fine. So it's definitely a reader and not a ROM dumper or what you call a ripper. It's a true reader. It actually imitates the original hardware pretty good. It's not FPGA. There's always room for improvement. Okay, SNES controller. Turbo down, but I will pick turbo just because of Chun-Li's fireball. Okay. I've noticed that if you pick normal mode without the turbo at all, there's some difficulty sometimes in getting Chun-Li's fireball to work. And that's on many SNESs. Has nothing to do with this machine, just how the game quirks are. Oh, how does he dominate and have that range? That's crazy. It's almost as if his hitbox is extended to an unrealistic length. That's okay. I put the pressure on him with the fireballs. He's down. Okay, round 2, people. Oh, good. I dizzied him. Got him. I didn't get my perfect, but I got him. Yay! Now it's in HDMI mode. It's on a 45-inch HD television. But I do notice a certain level of blockiness. This is supposed to be 720p, but it is more solid. The colors are better. So I'm going to have to say that that's a win. And there's 0 latency in HDMI mode, thankfully. But even with that, doesn't help. E Honda was high geared to defeat me right there. He's a second opponent, and they're turning up the juice hard. Yep. Yeah, they're pulling all the cheap stuff out now. Okay. Sometimes the computer is shameless in its desire for victory. So I'm going to be cheap and shameless with my number of fireballs. Really? Okay. It dominated over that. That's interesting. Okay. I can never understand why they would make the home versions cheaper in their difficulty extremes than the actual arcade version. In the arcade, you have infinite continues. You just throw in another quarter. In the home versions of certain games, they give you limited continues on games that were very known to have unlimited continue possibility. There's one of the pet peeves. Example, Ninja Turtle games for the home systems have only a few continues, a few lives. But the arcade version, as long as you got quarters, you got continues, baby. So I always thought that was a bit cheap. I just figured that the Japanese versions of those turtle releases were a lot more softer and easier than the brutal, downright Banzuke American versions. Probably the UK versions as well, I'm guessing. Non-Japanese customer bases. Just seems like a mean thing to do, especially when they were nice enough to spend the money on the game in the first place. Oh, got him. Yeah, one more round and we'll do Super Mario in HDMI. The timing of it. This is ridiculous. Okay. Whoa. Oh, he's pulling out the stops now. There we go. Shing along that. Yeah. Thankfully, the computer's cheese was not as powerful as mine. Oh, well, I gotta destroy the car. It'd be almost impolite not to. Notice that this car, the year it was released, it's basically a Lexus with the L turned upward to look like a V. My guess is because they named one of their fighters Honda, that Honda is pretty close to their heart as far as a vehicle they liked, as far as the design team goes. And this was pretty much what they thought of Lexus and its parent company, Toyota. Oh. Rivalries. Okay, people. We've done that. Let's go to the 8-bit. So I will get the appropriate controller. And after we check Mario, I'll throw in a couple different games just for the heck of it as a last minute roundup kind of thing. Okay. Here we are, folks. Super Mario Brothers in HDMI. Oh, sorry, the aspect ratio sometimes needs to be toggled. There we go. Beautiful HDMI. It's a reinforcing of the color and a slightly more clear, sharper image. Keeping in mind these images were blocky back in 1984, so even with the HDMI, it's going to have some degree of blockiness. But the color's reaffirmed. There's no threading on the images. Sounds more or less in the correct zone. There's a lot of nitpickers about, oh, the sound effect doesn't sound quite right, or something. You know, for what these people could do with the code they got a hold of, and the custom code runners themselves, it's amazing what they're able to achieve. And the fact that this is in HD, 720p, is just remarkable to me. Yeah, the coin sound effect's not quite right. Similar, this part sounds right. And there is zero latency in the HDMI mode. I just wanted to get through that level. I wasn't going for the high mark. Every time I hear that Mario theme song, I miss wrestler Captain Lou Albano that played Mario in the original Super Mario Brothers Super Show back in the 80s, featuring Captain N and The Legend of Zelda with the "Excuse me, princess." Love that. It was based off of Zelda 2, by the way. I'm sure you're thrilled that I said that. And I know deep in your hearts you were asking. You're asking, what did Link say in that old cartoon? Please tell us, Wyld Elf26. So I did. Okay. Okay. And that's all fun. Take out the piranha plant, shoot the Goomba, and the other Goombas. What's funny is they could see me clearly firing deadly fireballs at them, and they keep walking forward right into them. Guess Bowser didn't give them a sense of self-protection. King Koopa. Oh, that didn't work the way I hoped. Okay, there it goes. All right. Yeah, the controls are still excellent. HDMI, no latency, perfect control. See how close I got to that piranha plant? Perfect control. Now the person doing the controlling, sometimes not so perfect. Okay, that was happy. Let's try a couple different ones just for the wrap up. Okay, Street Fighter 2 Turbo out. Mario Brothers Duck Hunt out. And a little bit of Mortal Kombat 2. Possibly the best fighting game ever made for Super NES release. Oh, I know, some of you are going to say, oh, but what about Killer Instinct? Well, I will say this to the credit of Killer Instinct. it does seem that the Super Nintendo version of the first Killer Instinct, at least in sales and distribution, totally outshined the sales and distribution of Killer Instinct Gold on the 64. In fact, I can't really think of anybody that's ever had anything good to say about Killer Instinct Gold. It was such a strange, not even slightly accurate version of Killer Instinct 2. And the graphics were just a wee bit wedged out a bit. Those of you that have had that game and have seen that game in comparison, kind of understand what I'm talking about, hopefully. But I found that the responsiveness of the controls on the Super NES was much better than how it controlled on the N64 controller. It has nothing to do with the different controller, it's just the way the information was fed through the controller had some kind of built-in latency, and certain combos just could not connect right as a result. Sometimes I use Jago, sometimes I use Fulgore. And Fulgore has some pretty awesome and simple to execute combos. Those combos were virtually impossible on KI Gold. And I know there's going to be some expert of KI Gold that's going to cry all day about it. Oh wait, okay, turn that off for a minute. I need NES in HDMI. Okay. Huh. Maybe I didn't set the game in there quite right. Okay. Sometimes it gets a little fidgety. Usually that one comes on the first time every time. This one, with the benefit of the doubt. There we go. Okay. The Old-Skool Classiq 2 NES HDMI. Yeah, gotta toggle that aspect ratio button. There we go. In a way, it's like a secondary reset. There we go. Speaking of turtle games, pick Leonardo. He's got medium range. I like Raphael, but he's got the shortest range of all the turtles in the game. And if you piano tap it, you get the special move. I get the timing just right. You're going to smack me around a bit here. Okay. There it is. Jumped and attack. Jumped and attack. A little different than the arcade version, where you just hit both buttons about the same time. Here you have to deliberately delay between the buttons, close together but not simultaneously. Yeah, there's some experts at this version. They're able to go through it without losing a life or nothing. I've had it a long time, but I don't declare myself an expert on it. Just I know a lot of it. I used to play the arcade version quite a bit. One time at one sitting, I must have thrown in at least $15 worth of quarters and got only marginally beyond halfway through. Okay. Oh yeah, and Pizza Hut was the sponsor. I remember that. Yeah. Shameless promotion. But Pizza Hut's got good pizza. I preferred it when they had the Pizza Hut endorsement over the Domino's endorsement. They work hard at Domino's, but I gotta say, they seem to be putting on a lot more toppings at Pizza Hut. And the cheese, something about the cheese, the consistency of the cheese seems a lot thicker in the good way at Pizza Hut. But I noticed in certain Domino's pizzas that unless you ask for extra cheese, it seems really marginally thin. Like they found new ways to sprinkle the less amount possible on it. That's always kind of irked me a bit. You pay a decent price for a pizza, and they hardly put the toppings on at all that they agreed to put on it, let alone the extra toppings. And this fire is decorative down here. You can just walk right in it. Look, I'm walking in the fire. I'm a fire walker. Oh, he ignored the special move. That's kind of wild. Plus this version had, I think it was 2 extra levels, 2 extra bosses, and limited continues. Okay, we get the gist of that. I might make it to April. I don't think so, but I might. Mainly because I'm just showing it off. I'm not actually going for it. Roadkill Rodney robots. There we go. Take that one out quickly. Oh, he got me. Usually I can get through that without getting smacked by the Rodney robots. I didn't name them, by the way. That's the original name that they gave it from the Playmates toy line, because I never heard Shredder or Krang or anybody ever refer to the designation or name of this robot. But on the back of the Playmates toys, they call it Roadkill Rodney. Now April. Okay. At least one continue. Oh, he got me. That was not planned, but okay. Hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Hey, let's escape the other way, right? Right? Come on, April, let's escape this way. No bad guys. I took them all out. Oh, darn it. You're gonna make me go that window, ain't you? You're gonna make the big bad boss show up. Okay, here I go. Oh, uh-oh. I'm gonna get right here and just wail away on him. There used to be a secret to the positioning there, but sometimes the game just pretty much ignores the so-called secret that's supposed to make it easier to take care of the boss. Ah, I was temporarily invincible and he got me anyway. That's interesting. Got him. Here, April. Now let's go the other way. Oh no, Shredder showed up. Darn that Shredder. Okay. Let's see, bad guy pops up. Knock manhole cover right back at them. Takes them out. Okay. Hey, which way did the boss go, guys? Yeah, they won't tell you. They're robots. Dude's nuts. They're robots. Let's rock. Okay. There she is. Okay. Now I can get some of these guys with this. Oh, that's right. It was only going to go in that direction. All right. Kind of sabotaged myself right there. But isn't that the lesson in life? We all kind of sabotage ourselves one way or the other. Whether it's your career, family relations possibly, who knows. Or maybe you just got a psycho boss, or even worse, psycho family. That happens too. Boy, let me tell you. I could write a book on it. Things I've seen, the way people behave. Oh, man. I'm no psychiatrist or a Fraser, but let me tell you, I've seen things. I have seen some stuff. Here we go, already. Okay, I'm not sure how long this took. I didn't intend it to take this long. I just wanted to give you guys a good showing of this epic games in beautiful HDMI on my reasonably large 45-inch TV. Well, that's it for the turtles, so we'll go to SNES. Like so. Okay. Ah, there we go. Behold Elnar. Oh, I didn't do it in time. Okay. Let's see. Oh, let's see. A reset. Oh, how about that? Oh, I didn't know there was a reset. There we go. No, there's a reset button. Okay. You hold L and R at this screen. Keep going and you get this alternate entrance. And Kintaro shows up. Okay. We didn't see this in AV mode, but the HDMI mode, only slightly less blocky than the AV mode. But they claim 720p, so here we go. Oh, timer went down, ended up getting Kitana. Okay. You can pause it if you press start between the fighters. It's the only part of the game you can actually pause on SNES. Mortal Kombat 2. Fan wave, fan toss. Square wave flight. And the sweep. Let's see, do I remember her finish moves? Of course I do. Controller, flawless, no latency. He's getting a little more psychic about the moves coming at him. Block, 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 high kick, boom, instant decapitation. Gotta love that. This is back when they had actors wearing costumes being shot in front of a blue screen, which gave it a non-cartoon look because it was actual people in costumes. There were others that imitated that style. Some were pretty decent at it. There's a a Jackie Chan arcade game. It's a definite Mortal Kombat clone. Even has fatalities. But it actually has the likeness of Jackie Chan in it. And you have to face him 3 different times before you can defeat the actual game. Oh, yeah, computer's going a little overboard now. And the AI for Mortal Kombat 2 is shameless, even on the Genesis version. Yeah, the timing of that, just... I can toss fans in midair also, like that. Oh, it was high kick. Okay. Two fireball motions and then high kick. Knocks them around the spikes or off the bridge. Whoa. Yeah. He ate his beaties. Yeah. Oh, he's not going to allow it. No. Canceling out my projectile attacks. I mean, he jumped away before I even revealed the move. So, yeah, computer's in overdrive. It's not uncommon at certain levels of battle, Genesis version or SNES version of Mortal Kombat 2, to actually catch it blocking in midair. Computer opponent attempts a jump, and sometimes you can actually catch it in the air doing the blocking stance. Yeah, he ticked me off. Yeah, Baraka ticked me off, and then Jax ticked me off. And they both got what was coming to them for ticking me off. Okay. Okay, this is one of the better backgrounds. The tower stage with the monk floating in the background. It's funny, the PSP version of Midway Arcade Treasures Extended Play, MK2, they could not get this background with the clouds proper. And that was the powerful PSP with a supposedly arcade correct port. They had an opportunity to fix it after the WB acquired the remnants of Midway. Oh, yeah. And on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed the Classiq 2 HD from OLD-Skool. I have some second player controllers that look a little more fun. These are just my own. They have nothing to do with Classiqs. But this is my Super Famicom colored controller. It's good for second player. And this is a decent NES replacement pad made by Hyperkin. I believe it's called the Cadet. I kind of customized it with a metallic Sharpie. But it gives you more of that original NES kind of feel. Plus it has some interesting grips that they added to the back. which it makes you wonder why Nintendo didn't consider the gamers a little more, do a more ergonomic controller earlier. No, they waited till the NES was almost dead. They re-released the top loader with the dog bone. Dog bone's pretty ergonomic, and the official dog bones are like collector's items now. They go for weird money. All right. Well, this has been your friend, Wyld Elf26. I don't know if I'm in frame or not because I can't see from this side. Okay. And like I said, guys, remember, always enjoy retro gaming. It's one of the few things we hold sacred as retro gamer elites, or in my case, a retro gaming elf. And all my friends and all my buddies, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you want to help the channel at all, just please press like. Like on the official video, and like on any comments left behind myself on the reply section. And if you feel like it, I'm not going to ask you to do it, but if you feel like it, if the mood takes you there, if you want, subscribe. I've got some really great people that subscribed. When they allow me to know who they are as a subscriber, I tend to thank them in one of my videos or teaser videos. But this has been the official review from Wyld Elf26, the official review of the Classiq 2 from OLD-Skool. And I didn't show you a rotation of the original box, but I'm going to use this opportunity at this moment to do that. There's the Master Sword again. Da, 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 da. Okay. Yes, there's your front. It basically tells you what you need to know there. 720p, HD, and AV. It's important that it has AV, because if you have the Super Scope 6 or the Duck Hunt Zapper or the Lethal Enforcer's Justifier gun, with the AV output, you can still enjoy those, but you have to use a CRT television, of course. And I recommend a 23 or a 27-inch CRT television, preferably with front AV inputs. But let's see what else is important here on the back. Anything that we don't already know? No. It's described in English, Espanol, and French. And there's basically a layout of everything there. Here we are. Basic info we already know. And at the time of my purchase of this, I paid 69 something for it, which was a little more than 70 bucks. And it's HDMI, and it uses all the proper controllers, replacements, original, whatever. And the controllers it came with are pretty solid. I think you'll really like them if you remember the originals pretty well. And if it's your first introduction to retro gaming, if you're kind of a younger set and you're just kind of getting into it because you're maybe jaded by the current game industry, and who wouldn't be, this may be just the one for you. If you want that real true effect, try to seek out the gray purple one like this one. But if you can't get that, the black and red one's pretty good too. But this really takes you there, you know what I mean? All right, guys. Well, this has been your friend, Wyld Elf26. And I look forward to your comments, and I'll catch you around. And I'll be sure to leave a teaser or two. I've posted on community within YouTube, and I haven't done that before, so I'm trying to get the hang of that as well. All right, guys, you have a great one, And I hope you had some retro gaming fun. And I hope you could at least see some of the things I was trying to show to you. Alrighty. Thanks, guys. Till next time.